Hey everybody, Kyle here. So today for my daily motivation, I want to talk about lifting people up and the power of words. So, where to start? About 3 years ago now is when I really kind of started to get into sort of changing my life and self-improvement. 3 years ago, roughly now, I was at my old job. I was working retail, wasn't really going anywhere. I realized I started coming to work and, just having a horrible attitude. Like, I didn't realize at the time. Once I left, I had to apologize to all the people that I worked with because I was being absolutely awful to all of you, and I should have taken it out on anybody. But when I left, I said, I left, and everyone's like, "Oh man, where are you going? Where are you going?" I said, "You know what? I don't have anything lined up." And I had a kid, or had a kid, one kid at the time. Couldn't just up and quit my job, but I did. And everybody kept, the entire time of my last 2 weeks tried to change my mind and say, "You're making a mistake, man. You're making a mistake." And I said, "I just know I need to not be here." And I knew that if I left that way, that I knew I'd be driven to find the job for me. It's now my former job. I've moved on from there since. But the change in attitude was what I noticed, is that, I worked for a telecommunications company, and I walked in and I couldn't believe it was real. For the first bit, I had to be like, there's something wrong here. I'm going to find the thing that's, this underlying thing that they're kind of trying to hide. But, I drank the Kool-Aid. And, it was something where I noticed everyone who was there wanted to be there. And everyone was always appreciative of each other and would, lift you up. And, you're having a bad day, someone would say, "Hey, man," people who I didn't even know would ask, "Hi, man, how you doing?" Small things like that. And, or just walk by and say, "Hey, you know what? You're doing great." It would be something that would turn my day around, and it'd be great. I was working really hard there. I mean, I was the guy who wasn't supposed to make it. And I used to preach this to people when I would try to mentor people there. I started there, and I thought it was telecommunications. How hard it could be. It's electronics and TV and internet. How hard can it be to troubleshoot and do that kind of stuff? And I started getting some calls about Wi-Fi and stuff, and it just made me feel stupid because I was like, wow, I feel so not smart at this at all. So what I did is I came in early every day, about half an hour, and I would just read the help center articles that we had. And I kept forcing myself to get better. A man by the name of Rob, he started with me, and me and him would just kind of, jab at each other just to try to motivate each other, talking smack about stats and whatnot. And I mean, if it wasn't for me taking that action and for him, I wouldn't have made it. And, 3 months after being there, I was already helping other departments and, answering questions for people who were on frontline. And power of words here. There's one person specifically who every time I got them and they asked for help, they would always start off the question with, "You probably won't know this because you're new." It sucked, but I held my tongue. I would answer their question, or let them know, be like, "Hey, I don't know, but I'm going to find out for you." And eventually they stopped saying it because they realized that I was dedicated to it, that I wasn't just some guy who was trying to fake it till he made it, but I was there because I worked my ass off. 7 months later, I actually got to that position as a permanent position, which, I mean, I'd beaten out people who were working at that for years. It was unheard of. You used to have to be there for a year before you could even start helping them, and I proved a lot of those people wrong. But, what I live by is a principle of shouting out or lifting 3 people up a day and meeting one new person. Meeting one new person doesn't even have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to be you have to go and, seek somebody out and meet them. And I met Dave today. It could be someone you work with that you don't normally talk to, just, walking up and seeing who they are as a person, or, just striking up conversation. I mean, my current job is very great for that because there's new people here all the time. And, I always want to say that I know everybody, but I definitely don't. And I mean, some of the experiences these people have, it's amazing. the lifting up people, 3 people every day, doesn't have to be a big thing. Yesterday, like I walked up to one of my coworkers who, always helps me when I have, always helps me when I have problems, and he's great at what he does. And I just walked by and said, "Hey, man, you know what? Great job. You're killing it." Something as small as that. I mean, those words can change someone's day and change someone's mindset. I know myself when people do that for me. I mean, I'm always appreciative. I love, I love the fact that this place, everybody wants to be here. Everyone's driven to learn. Everybody invests in each other. I'm so appreciative for the people who have invested in me. They've invested time. Even though sometimes I'm probably, if I don't get something, they probably have to re-explain. They probably get frustrated. Those people, I always am eternally grateful. I have learned a lot of lessons in life through, especially motivational speaking. I've listened to, I don't even know how many people, different, motivational speakers, but one specific one that sticks out is Inky Johnson, who worked his entire life to be in the NFL. He was the expected top 30 draft pick for the NFL. Only had to play a couple more games. Hits a tackle wrong, ends his career. He didn't let that stop him, and he basically proved everybody wrong. Like, he didn't get back to the NFL, obviously, but he succeeded in other areas. I mean, he changed my life, I can safely say. And one of the things he said was, when he left the hospital, was they said, how'd you do it? You left, most people are here for 45 days, and you left in 3. How'd you do it? And his response was, I just felt I didn't have the right. I just felt I didn't have the right to stop. So many people have invested, time in me and invested in me. I still need to give those people a return on their investment. And I wholeheartedly live by that because, somebody in my job right now, my job's pretty, decently technical. But, the person, if someone here comes with skills and, they're kind of arrogant about it versus, the person who isn't great with technical stuff, but they're eager to learn, that's the person. I'm investing in that person every single day, no matter what. That person, I will give them my all because that drive is what means the most to me. But yeah, so anyways, that's kind of my power of words, I guess a little bit there. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to end it there. So yeah, you know what? Have a great day. Remember, you guys are killing it. Stay strong.